Howdy y'all, and welcome back to another video. If you worked on the community center in Stardew Valley, or even looked at any of Stardew Valley's merch, you're probably familiar with these little creatures, the Junimos. But did you know they're jam-packed with lore and have helped shape the world of Stardew Valley? That's what we'll be discussing today, so buckle up. If you don't know me, I'm Sauter. I make Stardew Valley YouTube videos featuring long plays, game challenges, lore, and theory crafting and analyses, so if you've got any feedback or suggestions for the next video, feel free to leave a comment down below and hit that subscribe button for more. After Spring 5, between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m., you can enter town and trigger a cutscene showing Mayor Lewis unlocking the dilapidated community center. Upon entering, we see Junimos scurrying around, but it seems as though Mayor Lewis can neither see them nor hear them. But we can. The cutscene ends with Lewis claiming the place is probably full of rats. However, we know better. And so does the wizard. We get a letter the next day from the wizard, and after meeting him, we're given a potion that grants the forest magic power, allowing us to read the language of the Junimos. We can now read and understand the plaques decorating the community center. But what are the Junimos exactly? The wizard tells us that he's a mediary between physical and ethereal, he is a master of the 7 elementals, seeker of the arcane truths, etc, etc, etc. But he claims that the Junimos refuse to speak to him for some unknown reason. But the Junimos left us, complete strangers to the valley, a note. We, the Junimo, are happy to aid you. In return, we ask for gifts of the valley. If you are one with the forest, then you will see the true nature of this scroll. This message was deciphered by the wizard, as our arrival to the valley has been long foreseen, but the message was definitely left for us by the Junimo. They've moved into the community center because, well, it's been completely abandoned. We are the Junimos, keepers of the forest. If the community center has been completely abandoned and has just been sitting there, empty and useless, then it makes complete sense for nature to reclaim it. The Junimos are concerned with the balance between humans and nature and will take over anything that isn't cared for anymore because why shouldn't they? Trees were chopped down in order to make the lumber needed to build the community center. The plot of land was leveled and cleared for the community center. It has taken up space and resources from nature itself, from the forests surrounding Pelican Town. But as long as the Junimos can see that we, the farmer, are willing to put love and care back into the community center, they're willing to help recover the community center back to its former glory. So why do they ask for gifts from the valley? In order to restore the center, we have to fulfill the bundles and provided items that are requested. Items that can be foraged in the woods like berries and flowers, resources like wood and stone that are provided by the forest, the farm and the mines, crops that we must plant, nurture and harvest, products from animals that we must love and care for like milk and cheese, fish from the lake, river, and ocean, and artisanal goods that requires a lot of effort to process and make. The Junimos are asking us to prove ourselves to them. We've been tasked to prove that we can be mindful of the nature around us, that we can put in the effort to be respectful of the land that Pelican Town is built on. This makes perfect sense because there are 2 main ways of acquiring endgame content in Stardew Valley. Side note, I'm aware there's no actual ending to Stardew Valley. You can play forever if you want to, but a lot of later game content is unlocked if you do one of 2 things, and that's either completing the community center or buying a Joja Mart membership, which will turn the community center into a Joja Mart warehouse. If you do this, you will never see any Junimos ever again, unless you build a Junimo hut, but they're basically eradicated from their home and cleared out like rats. The Joja Mart route is the exact opposite of what the Junimos want. And this isn't the only time that the Junimos essentially move into an abandoned building. If we restore the community center, Joja Mart shuts down and goes to ruin, leaving behind an abandoned, dilapidated building. Sound familiar? The Junimos will then move in and request one more bundle from us. Our reward? A gorgeous movie theater where we can invite villagers to watch films. The Junimos are basically saying to us, hey, if you're gonna take up all this land and use up nature's resources, can you at least have something cool instead of just leaving it abandoned? Considering how much the Junimos can help Pelican Town, I have to wonder, why can't other people see them? Why only us? Mayor Lewis couldn't see the Junimos when we were in that cutscene together. Let's look into some hidden lore. If we go into Penny's room, we can see an open book titled Fairies, Junimos, and Other Fables. And in Sam's 14 Heart event, he mentions making music for a TV show called The Happy Junimo Show. The Junimos aren't some secret thing that only we know about. They're a common part of children's stories. Besides the items offered in the Junimo catalog, we can see that there's Junimo plushies offered in the Crane game in the movie theaters. So we can probably safely say that someone besides us at some point has seen a Junimo before and probably told other people, and stories started to be told about those forest spirits. Maybe there was a time before the modern era of Stardew Valley where Junimos were more abundant and everyone could see them all the time. Maybe before the building of warehouses and factories and buildings that just got abandoned, Junimos were a common sight to see for everyone. This ties in with the fact that if we buy a Joja Mart membership and the community center is turned into a Joja warehouse, we never see a Junimo again outside of building a Junimo hut. The less nature that is around us, the less Junimos. So we've covered the purpose and general motive of Junimos, to protect and uphold nature. But let's look at something else to possibly further explain their origin. Let's look at their alphabet. The Junimo alphabet can be seen on the golden plaque when we first interact with it, before the wizard gives us the ability to read it. We can see that they have a symbol for each letter in our alphabet, a substitution cipher. Have a look at the letter J. Does that look familiar to you? Now, why on earth would one of the Junimo letters look exactly like a shadow person, like Krobus? In fact, there's a lot of familiar imagery. A looks like a classic lantern. B looks like a frozen tear. K looks like the symbol used for our currency in the game. S looks like an arrow. W looks like a bat. And X looks like a skull, perhaps one of the flying skulls in the quarry mines. I have some ideas on what the other letters look like, but I'm not 100% convinced. Some of them are a little too nebulous for me. If you've got some ideas on what some of these letters might represent, feel free to tell me in the comments. So, the Junimo alphabet is filled with imagery from the world around us, but it seems mostly comprised of magical imagery, like monsters. Krobus says to us on rainy nights, "It's said that my people came here long ago, when a great catastrophe allowed spirits from the void to cross into the physical plane." Note that Krobus didn't specifically say shadow people. All he said was spirits from the void. Is it possible that all monsters are just spirits from the void that crossed into the physical plane, and that the Junimo, who are spirits, also came from the void and are familiar with all monsters, hence why the imagery of them are incorporated in their alphabet? After reaching 50 friendship points with the dwarf, you can unlock a cutscene where the dwarf and Krobus are arguing. The wizard will appear and intervene and will state, "The elemental wars have long been finished." We're led to believe that the elemental war only affected the shadow people and the dwarves. But in the Junimo alphabet, there's not just imagery of monsters, but more things from the world around us. The letter B possibly being a frozen tear, which is a crystal fabled to be the frozen tears of a yeti. At any friendship level greater than 0 points, the wizard may send a gift in the mail, including a fire quartz, or jade, or a purple mushroom, or a frozen tear. The letter will state, "Greetings, young adept. I have enclosed in this package an item of arcane significance. Use it wisely. M. Rasmodius Wizard." An item found in the mines that is of arcane significance, represented in their alphabet, and is a liked gift of both Krobus and the dwarf. Now, we also have the square Junimo rug, which you can get from the Junimo catalog added in 1.6. We have 3 images on the rug. From left to right, we have the same symbols from the Junimo alphabet. R, U, N. Run? Just kidding. It's R-U-G. The last one is G. For rug, when I was typing the script out, my eyes crossed and I got so scared for a second. So obviously the little letters spell out rug, and it's supposed to be cute because it's a rug, but the symbol for U looks vaguely similar to me. It almost looks like the dwarf. See the hole where the face should be? Then the 2 little ear points? I think the N is either a tree or the symbol of Yoba, and the R, I'm not really sure about this one, y'all. I'm grasping at straws, but it reminds me of the dwarf plaque found on top of the volcano on Ginger Island. This plaque is surrounded by dwarves, and it looks to be depicting the beginning of Earth, when Yoba created it. I go into more details about the origin of Yoba in my Explaining the Religion in Stardew Valley video. Give that a watch, but to summarize, I theorize that Yoba was a part of the void, an enmeshed entity at one point, but broke away to forge its own journey and create the world, leaving the void behind. I think the Junimo alphabet is referring to this event in the form of symbolism in the alphabet because it's an important part of the origin. Since I theorize that the Junimo came from the void, the same place that Krobus, every other shadow person, and all monsters came from. The Junimo are indeed a mysterious force, and Stardew Valley wouldn't be the same without them. With that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. I stream Pixlr and Stardew Valley on Twitch, so if you'd like to check that out, link in description. And if you've got a suggestion for the next video or some headcanons that y'all have and want to share, be sure to leave a comment down below, and make sure to subscribe to catch my next video. I'll be making more Stardew Valley videos, so keep an eye out. See y'all next time. Bye!